You know that we just signed into law the Alaska Mental Health Trust Land Exchange. That was part of the omnibus this past year, and I want to thank the Forest Service for working with us to make sure that that did become law, but now we've got to implement it. The law requires that the Forest Service complete the exchange of the first 2,400 areas at East Nocatee within 1 year by May 5th of 2018, and then it has another year to complete the exchange. But what's happening now is the Forest Service and the Trust have to select an appraiser and issue all appraisal instructions within 90 days of passage by August 4th. So the question this morning is whether or not the Forest Service is going to be able to meet these timelines, select the appraiser so that they can get out in the field this summer. And then second to that, whether or not the Forest Service has the financial resources to complete this land exchange as required by law.
Madam Chair, we are on track to get the appraisals, the appraiser identified and get that work done, and we're on track to complete the first phase this year.
Okay.
And I just want to, first of all, thank you for giving us this authority, and we are making a commitment to whatever the resources that are necessary, because I want to use this as a model about how to do land exchanges, especially when we're working with between a state and, say, the Forest Service. I think we can show that when we're dealing with a state agency with the Forest Service, that we can have a more expedited process that still meets all the concerns of the communities and at the same time meets all of our requirements, but do it in a much more shortened time frame.
Yeah.
So
if we had waited for the administrative solution, we'd be waiting a long while here. So we appreciate the cooperation there. Do you have the resources that you need to do this then?
we do.
Okay. Okay. Let me ask then about Shee and the Cube Cove land acquisitions. There in the FY18 budget, I see no money proposed for new land acquisitions, only that that it's $8.4 million to complete land acquisitions in process. So as you know, with the Shee Atika, we are in that process of kind of completing this. I'm told that hopefully we're going to have be able to finish the acquisition of another 6,000 acres, but it does mean that the Forest Service has about another 7 tracts covering about 9,100 acres, costing another $9 million to buy to complete the agreement. So I'm wondering if the purchase of the last 7 tracts here that the Forest Service committed to back in 2015 is considered completion of land acquisitions in process, or are these considered new acquisitions that are not eligible for funding under the current terms of this FY18 proposal?
So, Madam Chair, we are on track to complete the next part of the purchases
Right.
this year. But following that, to be able to finish this acquisition, it'll have to be, postponed until sometime in the future when there's additional fundings.
So why would these not be considered land acquisitions in process, since it's effectively the proposal or the plan that was laid down back in 2015? These are not anything new. It's just that there's a multi-year process for completion. Why are you considering them new acquisitions and thus subject to this FY18 proposal that says no new acquisition?
They're not new. It's just with no funding available. So the limited funds that we have in our FY18 budget request would be to be able to finish up all the work that we have implemented with the current funds. So there's not a new project, but it's just there wouldn't be funds to be able to complete the rest of it.
Well, if it's not a new project and you recognize that it's something that has been committed to, how can we prioritize this so that we complete this land acquisition as was laid out over 2 years ago now?
Well, we have the list of land acquisitions that we provided in FY 17. budget request, and, that's our priority list, which includes, completing the next, I think, 2 phases of Cube Cove, and we'll finish that work up, but without additional funding in FY18, then the project the rest will have to be put on hold.
Well, you can see my concern here. We've got an administration that's basically said, no money for new land acquisitions. And we're saying this is not a new land acquisition. This is something that was agreed to some time ago. We need to complete it. So I don't want us to be in this category of nothing will be allowed because we've got a view within the administration that we're just not going to have new acquisitions coming forward. So I'm going to continue to press on this and ensure that Forest Service keeps the commitment that was made some time ago.
Okay.